Well, g'day everyone. Welcome to another edition of Fly Fishing in Nature's Realm. Now, today's episode, I'm going to continue on with another fly from the Mayfly life cycle. And this is the actual spinner, but when it's laying its eggs. Now, if you remember, and I'll have the link up there, if you remember in my talk on the life cycle of the Mayfly, I mentioned for the egg laying stage only one fly is required, and it's true that fly is the Macquarie Red. Now the Macquarie Red, a little bit of a historical perspective in regards to the Macquarie Red. The fly was developed by a gentleman by the name of was a fly fisherman from Tasmania, and he's celebrated quite a lot in the writings of the other celebrated fly fisherman David Scholes and in his books. And in The Way of the Angler, the Macquarie Red and the Macquarie Black are actually mentioned in there with the tines and so forth. So if you can get your hands on an original first edition Way of an Angler, fantastic. And if you can't get your hands on that, there was a second reprinting of the Way of an Angler, and that's I don't know how much it is, probably $30, $40, something like that, to buy a copy of that, and you'll be able to read all the different stories that David Scholes wrote in that book. And as I say, it has the Macquarie Red in there. And what a fly, guys. It's just fantastic. The reason why it's such a great fly is because it incorporates a body hackle around the hook shank. And with the main hackle, this makes the fly really float high. That high that, I personally believe, the trout believe, it's actually hovering just above the surface. And that is that's not too far-fetched, I can tell you right now. If you actually watch the fly on the surface, it looks like it is just above the surface, and that's what the natural does when it lays its eggs. It'll hover just above the surface, it'll land, and then it'll lay its eggs, and is very vulnerable to the trout or to the feeding trout. So that's what's really good about the fly. In addition, it also has a Cree hackle at the front. Now the Cree hackle is there to visually aid the fly fisherman, and it enhances the fly to a certain degree as well. So the Macquarie Red, it's a great fly. I use it whenever the orange spinners are laying eggs on the surface. It's the only fly I use, and it's like I say, it's a great fly, guys. Alright, so let's start to tie this fly. Now the materials you'll need to tie the Macquarie Red will be seen in front of me here, and it'll be seen in front of me here. And also we'll start off with a size 12 up-eye hook. Okay, now the next requirement is your thread. 6/0 and an orange coloured thread is what you need there. So I just need to cut some of this here, and so let's get started and start tying this fly. Now again, 2/3 position is the best place to start tying the fly, and then we proceed in turns towards the bend of the hook. Now, at this point, what we do is, what I like to do is to tie in a ball of thread there. because again we're going to use these nylon, these ones are called microfibers, okay, and you get them in a range of different colours. They come in like a rusty orangey colour, they come in black, olive green for all different flies that you might like to tie. And like I say, they're made from a nylon material, more durable. The actual original tying by Dick Wickham calls for just cock hackle fibres, so that would suffice if you wanted to just tie it to the original standard. I like to use the microfibers just for a little bit more durability in the fly. Okay, so we'll take that out, readiness. So now we need to tie a little ball so that we can then kick those nylon fibres or microfibers up and give a better position to the tail. So let's do that. Just at that point, we just keep tying in the same position. Alright, now we take our microfibers and just 2 or 3 fibres is all we need. Very hard to see, they're very fine. It's incredible. Right, judge the proportion, and 1.5 hook shanks would be the proportion of the tail in length, and then transfer, and let's tie that in like so. And then the closer we tie towards the tail, they'll splay up and out. Okay, so we keep it, once we've tied it in, we keep our thread in that position there. Because the next thing we require is fine copper wire. Now get the finest copper wire you can, guys. Alright, now as you can see here, this is super fine. Right, you'll see it later. I'll do a close-up of it in a minute. It is super fine. This is sort of like a electrical wire, and that's the type of wire you want, because this is a dry fly. We don't want to add too much weight, and trust me, that's not going to add not much weight at all. Alright, so we cut off a section of that. And then we tie it in at the point that we're at. Cut the excess off. And then we advance our thread back to the 2/3 point. Alright, so we've got the tail in position, we've got the copper wire in position, and now we need the body hackle. So for the body hackle, I'm going to use this genetic cape here. It is a half saddle, which is really affordable for fly fishermen. You can buy the saddle, the full saddle, which is probably about that wide, and so what these people do, they cut it in half, and it gives people the option of a cheaper cape. I actually just bought it because the quality of the feathers are incredible in this one. So we'll take out this cape, and as you can see in a saddle, the feathers are super long and they're beautiful and fine. Now what we want for the body hackle is really fine, like a small hackle, smaller than the main hackle. So we have to get the smallest one we can get off the cape. So it takes a bit of searching when you do this. So you just judge it. And that's probably about right. And then as you can see, this feather is super long. You could tie probably about a dozen flies with this one feather. Where if you've got a neck cape, that the one feather you select will basically just do one fly. So that's the differences in it. But I've already explained in previous episodes why neck capes are great. So yeah. So let's strip off some fibres off the stem so we can tie the stem in. And we will now tie that in at the 2/3 mark. Alright, now we create the body hackle. Now the body hackle doesn't have to be really thick, it just needs to, as if you're tying segmentations to the actual body. So we get the hackle and we wind it at that point there, and then we create a bit of a gap and then wind it down a little bit further, and again and again, and then one more time. Grab our copper wire now, and then we trap it in. Now when we use the copper wire and we trap it in, we need to go through those. We want to make sure we don't trap too many of the body hackle fibres. So what we do is we weave it back and forth. Okay, so we go. Now we can release that feather, just work our copper wire through the fibres back to the 2/3 mark. Now, the copper wire does two things. It creates a more durable fly, but it also creates segmentation to the body, and it adds a bit of glint to the body, which can attract the trout. Okay. Alright, so that copper wire is in place, and we will now cut the excess copper wire away. Don't lose that. And and then we cut away the body hackle back here where we left it. Alright, not very hard, is it, guys? So far we've nearly finished. Now what we do now is we select a main hackle for the fly, and so what we want is we can use another saddle feather here and make sure that it's a bit bigger in its diameter or the fibres as we tie it around. So we can judge that by and that's absolutely perfect. Now we tie that in. Cut away the excess there. And build that hackle up. Tie that off. Alright. Now there's a few stray fibres there, so we can trim them off. Now, the next feather is the front hackle, and we only need 1 or 2 turns, and we need Cree feather. Right? Now, Cree, a lot of people probably asking, what is a Cree? Well, a Cree is like a grizzly feather, except it's brown. Right? So it's basically brown with the black stripes, a lighter type brown than say a red cockapple. So we need the smaller feathers for this down here. So selecting the right size is going to come through practice, guys. Simple as that. But it does help if we spread that out. This one should work. Now we tie that Cree hackle right in where we left off. We'll need a hackle pliers for this, so we can grip that feather a lot better. and then we tie that off. Cut away the excess. And then we need to just clear away those fibres that are sticking out there, make it a little bit neater and tidier. And then we whip finish, guys. Last part. Away the thread. And then just spread those tail fibres a little bit more. And there we have it, guys. The Macquarie Red. And what a fly it is. It's spectacular. Like I say, guys, when the orange spinner is flying through the air, taking spinners while they're in the process of reproducing, you won't catch those trout. Like I say, until you get yourself a fly that can hover. When they finish reproducing and the female decides to lay her eggs and lands on the surface, and there could be quite a lot of them that will begin to do that, then you're in business. But you must have a good fly pattern. I love this Macquarie Red. You know, and no doubt there's other patterns out there that'll do the same job, but I've just got confidence in this guy, I really do. And it hovers. It's what it does more than any other fly pattern. It hovers. So yeah, tie some up, and then when it's Mayfly time, when this pandemic is finished, by looking at the news tonight, they're easing up the restrictions. Could be just in time for springtime, I reckon. This spring coming up, we might be able to get ourselves out in the lakes fly fishing, out in the rivers fly fishing. Big chance, guys. Alright, till next time, this is Bruce Smith saying goodbye, and see you on the next episode of Fly Fishing in Nature's Realm. Bye for now.